What's up, guys, and welcome back. As you know, they changed the way you get Pool 3 cards in a massive way in Marvel Snap, and used to release a buyer's guide that you could go and take a look at for the different archetypes throughout the game, and you could decide which cards will be best for you to unlock with your tokens. Now, I've already spoken my opinion plenty of times. That's not what this video is for, and regardless, it looks like this is going to be the path moving forward to acquire Pool 3 cards. So today, we're going to be talking about the top 20 cards that I would use your unlock on. You get one right now. You also get another one in about 9 days, and you get one each and every season. We're also going to break it down by archetype and look at some updated rankings for the top Pool 4 and 5 cards. You actually now have the tokens to actually unlock the new cards, and so this will probably be more important than ever. Let's go and kick things off with the top 20 cards that I would consider using your free unlock on. There are loads of factors that go into this list, including versatility, unlocking archetypes, and just cards that will help you in Pool 3 much more than others. Now, keep in mind, this list is trying to include everybody's collection, right? Every single collection is different, and we'll jump into that topic a little bit later. Now, starting at number 20, we have Mr. Negative, and some might think this is a little low, and he does give you access to a completely new archetype. But if you don't have some other Pool 3 cards, I don't think you use the free unlock on Negative. Simply put, it's not the easiest deck to climb with, and I think there are better options. However, because you have a lot of the cards you might need from Pool 1 and 2 for Negative decks, he is somewhat worth the consideration at number 20. Now, at number 19, I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and I'm going to mention two different 3-cost cards that could arguably both be in this slot. First up is Polaris, that just has insane value, and not just the 3-cost and 5 power, but you have the ability to move 1 and 2-cost cards. That means moving things to Space Throne. That means clogging up lanes early. You can move armor. You can move Sunspot. A very good card with so many different uses that you'll find yourself plugging into different decks. Now, you might think Maximus is the next card, but it's not. It's going to be Juggernaut. And I think Juggernaut is going to be a great Aero replacement. It's a card that I think is vastly slept on and wildly underutilized. You can play it on the last turn of the game, opposed to playing it on curve. And trust me, guys, the card is going to win you loads of games because your opponent is simply not going to expect it. Now, dropping from the number 1 unlock, Aero has been nerfed and has dropped severely and is now at number 18 on our list today. Now, she could very well go up on the list, but it's just too early to tell what her use is going to be. She definitely has plenty of viability still, but we're going to have to put her in certain decks, and those decks are going to need other Pool 3 cards. So for the time being, we're going to focus on some other cards that we can utilize outside of Aero. However, guys, don't let the nerf completely fool you, and I'm not just saying this because I love the card. I think she's still plenty fine in the meta today. Now, at number 17, we have Titania. I know it's a card that scares a lot of people because, well, it can lose you some games, but you can simply put her into Zoo decks, and you can slot her into just about any Disrupt or Control deck as well. If you pair her up with Zero, it's a phenomenal priority card and just solid overall. At number 16, we have Arnim Zola. Now, not everybody's as big as a fan of Arnim Zola as myself, but I actually think that he is worth the free unlock just because of the different scenarios and places that you can use him in. If you do plan on getting Shuri, obviously he can work into a Red Skull deck. You can get Taskmaster along with that as well, who I did leave off the list because of the changes. I probably would go with Arnim Zola. Now, at number 15, we've got Wong, who is a card that's going to work and be utilized with the cards you already have in Pool 1 and 2. He instantly gives a boost to a lot of decks, and if your opponent's not running Cosmo, he's an easy way to get some cheap wins and learn how to climb the ladder. At number 14, Patriot. Now, regarding Patriot, he's a little bit tougher to rank than others. Some would argue he should be the first card you unlock, because he's going to instantly give you a deck if you're just getting into Pool 3. Definitely worth the free unlock to get yourself going on the ladder. If you already have things like Dr. Doom, Ultron, or Mystique, he's pretty much an instant unlock. Now, at number 13, we've got Zero, and at 12, we have Red Skull, and obviously both of these are going to be great together, but Zero can work with cards you already have in Lizard, or if you do have Titania. Red Skull, of course, is going to be one of the better 5-cost cards now in Marvel Snap, because of the way they adjusted his stats. But obviously, with Shuri, he's one of the best cards in the game. So if you do have Shuri, he's definitely way higher on the list. Now, at number 11, we have Dracula, who used to be much higher on my list, but he's great to plug and play, virtually uncounterable. And guys, he's going to fit into a Zoo deck that you can run day 1 of Pool 3 if you have the card. because you already have the likes of Infinite, Hulk, and other cards that you can use his ability with. Number 10, we've got Daredevil, and arguably I would put him even higher. Now, Daredevil is one of my favorites, guys, because he's going to be great across so many different decks and as well as battle mode. One of the best cards there. Control is finally back on top in this meta because of the recent nerfs to the Space Stone, so you're not going to really regret your Daredevil purchase. It's a little weird to get used to what decks you put him in, as typically it's not just him you put into the deck. You try to slot in Professor X and others as well. But with the Aero nerf, I think it makes more sense than ever because of turn 5 and 6 being a lot different than it was before. Now, number 9, we've got Death, and she's a lot easier to slot in than she was before with cards like Nimrod and the new Wolverine. Definitely a good card that you're not going to regret unlocking early. Now, number 8, we've got Mystique, one of the more versatile cards in the game. She did get a slight nerf recently, but still very good at what she does, and you can copy cards you already have like Devil Dinosaur and Iron Man. Number 7, we've got the good dog, Lockjaw. And guys, Lockjaw, just a great card that gets you going on plenty of decks in Marvel Snap. You can play discard, Lockjaw, Jane Jaw, and, you know, we won't talk about it much, but even Thanos blend decks with Lockjaw. He's an instant unlock if you have some of those cards we just talked about, and you won't regret getting them at number 7. Now, at number 6, we've got Wave, who is one of the better cards in Marvel Snap. I simply have her a little bit lower just because you do need some other cards to make her work at full capacity. If you already happen to have Aero, they work great together. Death as well, obviously, for the Death Wave combo. Wave gives you access again to plenty of the decks right now out there in the meta. But kicking off the top 5, we have Magneto. Man, guys, I am enjoying Magneto a ton lately, especially after some of the nerfs. He's one of the premier 6-cost cards at this point. Just his effect overall can almost replace what Aero used to do. So definitely a card that you can feel good about using the free unlock on if he does show up in the shop. Definitely one that you can plug into Devil Dino, destroy, really whatever, and he's going to do the job that he was designed for. Now, at number 4, I've got Electro, the other ramp card. Now, I have him higher than Wave because, simply put, Electro ramp slaps even at early pull 3, late pull 3. You can combine it with Sandman and some high-cost cards to get off rolling right away with some solid decks. At number 3, we've got the discount queen, Sera. Simply put, Sera Control, Sera Surfer, they're a miracle. You're going to use this card plenty in your time in Marvel Snap, and you can kind of find a reason to put her into most decks. Definitely worthy of a top 3 spot. At number 2, Dr. Doom. Now, Dr. Doom is still a great card, has been a great card, and will continue to be one. Another high contender on the list if you have something like Electro. You can just slap them together with Sandman and have a high-performing deck. I'm not kidding when I say he could probably go into just about any deck and make it a little bit better. Because of closed-off locations, because of trying to guess what your opponent is going to do on turn 6, Dr. Doom gives you the answer. Finally, at number 1, it's still She-Hulk, guys. Now, She-Hulk is still definitely worth the unlock, guys. The best part is they already nerfed her, so you know she's going to be safe in the future, at least for the time being. And it didn't do much of anything. She's still a great plug-and-play card and definitely worth the tokens. Now, one massive change you probably want to get used to is you want to look at your collection. Heck, you can look at my old buyer's guide if you want to, and see what cards you've already unlocked and what archetypes are going to be easiest for you to accomplish. You can look at meta decks out there and see which ones you're closest to be able to play on the ladder, and then you target those cards specifically. For example, you don't always get number 3 over number 5. It really depends on your collection. If you already have the Patriot, maybe you get Ultron. If you already have Ultron, maybe you get the Patriot. Or Psylocke from Mr. Negative. It really depends, so go look at the meta decks out there, and then go look at this list, your collection, and see what you should unlock to make the most sense. So there is your top 20, but let's go ahead and look at a bird's eye view at the archetypes, and that is where my old token shop buyer's guide graphic still comes in. Let's say you're a big Destroy fan, simply go to the Destroy section, look at the cards that all synergize here, and then pick the ones that you want to go after and target for your favorite decks. I can go ahead and link the video in the description below if you want to go get a full breakdown, or you can find it on Twitter or Discord, and I'll also put those links in the description below. Now let's go and talk pool 4 and 5 cards, and guys, this isn't rocket science, right? You want to buy Shuri with these tokens. Now, more than ever, because when she drops down to pool 3, you'll have to use your free unlock on her, and I think she's definitely the most worthwhile card out of anything to use those tokens on. But here are my updated rankings of everything that I would unlock in the order I would unlock the cards. Now, with this list, what I did was look at pool 3 cards, the amount of tokens it costs to unlock, what pool they're currently in, and just how good they are in Marvel Snap. So again, obviously, Shuri and Thanos are kind of the no-brainer cards to unlock, followed by Darkhawk. I think Darkhawk, if he shows up, is definitely worth 3,000 tokens. He will be dropping pretty soon, but even now, I think he's definitely worth that price. Next, we have Galactus, who's at a ridiculous spot right now in the meta. However, they might nerf him, so it's kind of a risky buy, in my opinion. But at the same time, if they don't do anything at all, you're going to have a great card that can really climb the ladder pretty effectively. Now, Null is actually kind of tough, because here's the thing. If you have Galactus, unlock the card. Don't, like, skip it. You're done. Get the card, right? But if you don't have Galactus, should you still get Null, especially if you like Destroy? And I'm going to say it's kind of a tough one. I think 3,000 tokens isn't that much for what he does. And in Destroy decks, man, he could do some work, especially if you do have Nimrod and some of the other cards that go well with Null. I like him a lot. He's not for everybody. But if you have Arnim Zola and you like Destroy, you have Death, he's definitely worth an unlock as well. Now, the future is going to be bright for Valkyrie. I can't really praise her enough for the job that she does. You know, Shang-Chi doesn't work in armor lanes, and we're going to see more armors and Cosmo with just the way the meta is. And Valkyrie can still affect those high-powered cards like Red Skull. So very good unlock if you enjoy the control kind of archetype. Now, following Valkyrie, we have Zabu, Silver Surfer, who's definitely a high candidate on my list as well. Bast could go higher if you do love the Beast Bounce deck or you plan on using Mr. Negative. And then we have Kang. Now, Kang is a little bit of a tough one, guys. I'll be honest, because he's a big bat. He's always going to be worth the tokens. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him. He's still better than people give him credit for, but he's incredibly complex and definitely not worth like the instant unlock. There's better choices, as we've already shown. But I do enjoy Kang, and again, I'll put him in that control field if you like him. That's where he kind of belongs. He's not as versatile as I once thought, but still definitely a very solid card that I would unlock at some point with your tokens. Now, to follow Kang and wrap up the list, we have Stature, who's a great card, actually, and in a very powerful deck at the moment, but she does cost 6,000 tokens. Negasonic, the newest card, is really good at tech, great in control decks, and so in Destroy, but I think she's going to have a good spot. Just a little bit big brain and difficult to use. Sauron could definitely go higher, could go lower, depending on how much you love the Zero archetype. But 3,000 tokens is not that much. But on the flip side, MODOK would be way higher if he didn't cost the 6,000 tokens. But definitely propels and supercharges the discard archetype. Black Panther is great all around and definitely is a decent card. And pretty much everything else on the list, I wouldn't use the tokens on. But these are the rankings that I would give them if you do want to buy one of these cards. Now, of course, in this list, there are some gimmies, right? Depending on what you enjoy and what decks you like to play. And also, I don't recommend, you know, maybe getting all the big bads. If you get Galactus, get Null. If you get Thanos, you can focus on something else. That's how you want to look at this list. But you can definitely take the straightforward path of always buying big bads, as they're always going to be worth the 6,000 tokens. So there you go. This is going to be the new Token Shop Buyer's Guide, the monthly video that I'll be putting out. And let me know down in the comments below what you enjoyed, what I should add or remove. And a little sad that I won't be doing these giant graphics anymore, but at the same time, hopefully this was concise and straight to the point on where you should be using one of the most valuable resources in Marvel Snap. Now, if you guys find yourself coming back here, go ahead and press the red subscribe button down below. It helps support me massively. And I want to thank you guys for taking your time and watching today's video. Good luck out there on the ladder, and until the next one, have a good one and happy snapping.